Hi there, my name is Jordan, and guess what? I'm mad. What am I mad about? Well, I'm mad about recycling. Why is recycling important, you might ask me? Well, I'd say, you mean besides the fact that it keeps our planet clean, allows us to use things and materials more than once, helps our forests, and keeps land clean of garbage so we can use it for something else? Well, and then I'd go into a long rant about it. Anyways, now that we're acquainted with each other, I mean, we are friends, right? Good. Let's move on to part one. Okay. Recycling is the act of turning something into a usable material or reusing something for another purpose. Common examples would include melting a car to turn it back into steel or making a bag out of Capri Suns. There are multiple ways to recycle at home without huge machines, like making art out of things like cans or bottle caps, or with food you could make a compost. So while you may think of recycling and imagine just standing there putting bottles into a basket, you should know that it can be a fun activity at home or at school. Now, let's move on to part two. Question. Most everyone knows about recycling, so why don't a lot of people do it? Answer. Excuses. The most popular excuse for not recycling is inconvenience. So here's something. People will spend hours at a gym working on looking better. So if people can spend hours doing something to make themselves look good, then why can't people spend 5 minutes helping the environment? The second most common excuse is it doesn't make a difference. Wrong. Every piece of garbage that is reused or recycled is one less piece going into our landfills, our beaches, and the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Also, by spreading the word, you are making a difference by letting people know about this growing problem. Another thing, did you know that America alone creates over 200 million tons of garbage each year? If you were to find that weight in dollar bills, it would be $1,816,000,000 bills. With that, you could buy over 400 Lamborghini Veneo Roadsters. How much of that is recyclable? Over 75%. $1,362,000,000. How much do we actually recycle? 30%. $544 million. That may sound like a lot, but it's just a sad amount compared to the possibility. Enough about weight and amount. Where does all that wasted opportunity go? Well, as mentioned before, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, beaches, lakes, and most commonly, landfills. What's so bad about putting it in a predetermined space, leaving it there to rot so we can forget about it? Well, for one, it actually doesn't rot, at least not fast enough to make any good. A glass bottle will take over 4,000 years to decompose. That's 160 generations. An aluminum can? 500 years. How does this affect landfills? It makes them grow, big time. In the past and even recently, we have reduced the numbers of landfills in America. The result? More space for the ones that we left. Huge areas where we just dump our trash. So yeah, recycling is a pretty big thing, but there's more. Recycling saves energy. When we extract things from the earth, it takes energy such as fossil fuels to actually get the pure form of that material. But when we recycle, we spend less energy since we only need to reform that material. Think about it. Would it be easier to get out a new piece of paper when you filled out one side of one, or would it be easier to just flip over the paper? To put in perspective how much energy we save, recycling an aluminum can saves enough energy to listen to an entire album on an MP3 player. So no matter what type of music you're listening to, recycling is a rockin' idea. And finally, this brings us to part 3. I'm going to be completely honest and say that there is no solution. Now don't get me wrong, there are a multitude of things that help towards our goal of decreasing the size of our landfills and cleaning up our beaches, lakes, and the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, but none of these by themselves would truly be a solution. So what can you do? Make habits. Before trying to spread the word of recycling, start with yourself and make it part of your routine to recycle. Recycle at home, and if you're out and you happen to notice something on the ground, like a piece of plastic, then pick it up and put it where it belongs, in its proper recycling bin. After that, you should start spreading the word in whatever way makes you comfortable, be it a Facebook page, a conversation starter, or by starting a fundraiser to spread awareness. Every person that is informed is a person who is helping. My name is Jordan Hostler, and that is my report.